And the album starts with Hammer of the Gods, which is obviously about Vikings invading England. And as we speak today, we are making a video tonight and tomorrow and the next day for Hammer of the Gods on the cliffs in a place called Ravenscar, which is where some of the Vikings landed. So I don't think there'll be any Vikings in it, but it'll be shot in a great location. Back in '79, really, we wanted to revisit denim and leather type style of song. It's more anthemic, you know, I called it back in '79. I could have called it "Deliver Me" or "Show Me Your Hands," but I thought back in '79 is a better title. It's the first line of the first verse, so I think it works cool. You know, we don't do a lot of these really heavy, you know, really heavy bass drum snare tracks anymore, and I thought it was about time we did one.
Surviving against the odds. Surviving against the odds.
Again, that's really a move back to writing lyrics anyway, more like the old days, more, you know, never surrender, stand up and be counted, backs against the wall. So that's what that song is really.
In the midst of Avalon, she's waiting there for you. The lady of the lake, you must be brave and true. Avalon.
I think we're into Mists of Avalon then. Which is obviously a song about Excalibur. I had the idea for the song quite a few months ago when we were rehearsing, and then the Iron Maiden album came out. It's got a song called "Isles of Avalon," which actually probably I think is the best track on their album. And I had a few discussions with record company and different people about our song, which is obviously Mists of Avalon, and I did change the title to Excalibur, but actually, basically people said to me, don't be stupid, call it Mists of Avalon, so that's what we called it. So it could have been called Excalibur, could have been called Mists of Avalon, so we called it Mists of Avalon, so there you go.
We pray to make it through another day, to follow the call to arms.
The next song, "Call to Arms," which is basically you know, a heavy ballad really, and it's really about soldiers being away from home, from their loved ones. And specifically, you know, the one I'm singing about is the First World War. You know, the Somme and Ypres and all those, Passchendaele, all those battles. But generally it's about every war, and it's about every soldier sat reading a letter from his wife or his girlfriend or his children, and hoping that he can survive to see them again. That's what it's, I suppose, a bit of a love song, really, in a sort of different sense. You know, recently the last veteran died, who was in the I think the Somme battle, and you know, they printed his letters that he had, and I thought it was quite sad. So that inspired the song really. And you know, we wrote the song as it is on the album, and then later we had an orchestra score made for it to see what it sounded like. it sounded so great we put it on the album so people can make their mind up which one they like.
We're chasing the bullet. Chasing the bullet.
Yeah, it's just been a great buzz really, making the album. I mean, we actually wrote a song about making the album, which is called Chasing the Bullet, which is, I don't know if that exists, but I invented it. Chasing the bullet means you're rushing to get something finished. So that's basically what the song's about, chasing the bullet, really. And Afterburner is really, you know, one of the Saxon songs we do sometimes about planes and stuff. But actually, it's based on an aircraft carrier. One of the lines is turn the bow round into the wind, yeah. And I suppose what inspired me for that was the fact that a huge aircraft carrier, Ark Royal, you know, they've decommissioned it, so it's not around anymore. So basically, it's a song about planes taking off from aircraft carriers, really.
Where will we be? What will we do when doomsday comes? No rest for the wicked. No rest till the work is done. No rest for the wicked. No peace for the chosen ones.
As you probably know by now, we've got a couple of songs on a film that I think started to be shot in June sometime. And we have had songs on films in the past a couple of times, a couple of Italian horror films, but we've never really had anything that we've done specifically for films. So we're hoping to have 2 songs on, and we wrote 2 songs for it. One's When Doomsday Comes, which is obviously about Doomsday, and the second one is more specifically about the song No Rest for the Wicked, which is a bit of a ironic title, really, because obviously a lot of people get slaughtered in the film, and you know, there's no rest for the aliens basically. So, but you know, in the lyrics, some of the lines in the film are mentioned, so so that gets to that point.
It's not so complicated. Remember where you're from. It takes me back to a simple life. I sing my soul, the ballad of the working man.
Ballad of the Working Man. You know, Toby, the guy who I co-produced the album with, he wanted me to write some lyrics more in the spirit of our early days, you know, like more working class lyrics, like, you know, the lyrics on Surviving Against the Odds. But this one's basically about working men and women, all around the world really, that make the country strong really. I mean, it's the working people that keep the country strong, not the politicians. And that's what it's about really. Working class attitudes. And that's it, that's the album.
We came to fight and die and feel so blood. We follow the call to arms.
So yeah, the album cover. We had various different ideas. Call to Arms, obviously. Could have called it anything really, could have called it Hammer of the Gods, could have called it Surviving Against the Odds, could have called it, you know, Chasing the Bullet, could have called it Working Man, but I like Call to Arms. And we haven't had a song, on the last 2 albums, there's been no song on the album that was the title. I don't know if people have noticed that, but there was no Into the Labyrinth and there's no Inner Sanctum song. So I thought it was about time we started having a song on the album again that was the title of the album. But the The Lord Kitchener poster is from the First World War, and it's been used many, many times in different countries. I think the Americans used it for Uncle Sam, and I think that, you know, the Russians used it, and a lot of countries have used that, you know, the pointing finger and needs you, wants you slogan. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's quite controversial. I think gets people talking. Do they like it? Don't they like it? You know, I mean, I think majority of people like it with the title, and but it's one of those album covers. You know, some people love the, you know, the Celtic medieval sort of stuff that we do now, but I thought it might be nice to have a change for one album, and you know, the inside sleeve is fantastic. You know, different themes in there, and I like all the. There's a lot of arts and crafts, William Morris stuff around the album cover and inside the sleeve. That's really quite, you know, it's quite sort of the Gothic revival type look. So I quite like that, and you know, I think the whole package. I think people will like the package of the album, and that's about it, really.
Away from the ones I love, I put my faith in God above.
I think we're going to have a couple of videos of the album, for the album. I think we're going to shoot one with the Hybrid Theory film as a background. Probably on set. I've got to talk about that yet. We're shooting a video for Call to Arms, and like I said, we're shooting one for Hammer of the Gods. Hammer of the Gods, we're shooting that with students actually who are in their last degree course at university, studying film and sound. So. We're going to give them the opportunity of shooting a video with us, and you'll see how that turns out on YouTube, no doubt. So yeah, cool. Buy the album, it's fantastic. Keep the faith, and we'll see you on tour.